In this video, we will look at writing equations of lines. So let's get started with the three basic linear models. So your linear equation will fall in one of three forms. You have your point-slope form, which is written at the top. You have your slope-intercept form, and finally your standard form. All three formulas have pros and cons to using them, and it sort of depends on your situation. So we're going to take a look at a variety of examples, and hopefully you get familiar with when to use which formula. So our first example, we are going to write an equation in point-slope form. So the first thing, let's kind of review this point-slope formula off to the side. Notice it starts off with this y minus y1. So the y is going to be part of our equation, but we are going to substitute a value in for y1. Okay, and then it's equal to m times the quantity x minus x1. So the m will represent our slope, so we will substitute a value in for m, and then that x1 will be the second half of our coordinate pair from the point. Remember, we had the y1 earlier in the formula, and now we have an x1. So you're going to find that you're going to have an xy ordered pair, and the slope, we're going to substitute actual numbers into those three pieces of the formula. Hence why it's called a point-slope formula. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual example. It says our line passes through the point 5, 14. So I'm going to label that 5 as the x value. I'm going to call it x1, and the 14 is the y value. That's going to be y1. And the slope of 6, remember slope is often represented with m, so my m is 6. So let's go ahead and take our point-slope formula. I'm going to start with the y minus, and remember we're going to substitute our y1, and that value is 14 right here. So let me bring the 14 into the equation and continue with the formula. So equals, now I'm going to bring the m. Remember we had our m value of 6. I'm going to bring the m value into the equation and then start my parentheses for the quantity x minus, and I need that x value, which was the 5. Okay. So right here, our point-slope formula, we plugged in the point, the 5, and the 14. Notice where those two pieces are. Okay, the 5 is grouped in with the quantity of x, because it is an x value. The 14 is on the other side of the equation with the y, because the 14 is a y value. And our slope is in front of the x quantity. Now this is point-slope form, and if this is what they wanted the line written in, this formula, then we are good to go. That's your final answer. What you could do is we could use some algebra properties. I know some of you are probably looking at that like, oh, couldn't I distribute that 6? And that would help us convert into other forms if we're looking to change into slope-intercept or standard form. But if they're asking for point-slope form, then this is it, and looks good. Now another formula to look at would be the slope-intercept form. So that is y equals mx plus b. Remember, the m in the formula will stand for slope, and the b will stand for the y-intercept. Okay, so again, the name, slope-intercept form, what are we going to do? We're going to put together the slope, that's the m, and the y-intercept, that's the b. Put some notes in here. I encourage you to do the same thing. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First example, it says the line has a y-intercept at 5. So I'm going to just write a note. That is actually my b value. And the slope is 4/7. So that's my m value, 4/7. So when I want to write my equation, I'm going to start with that y equals, and I'm going to bring the m, the slope is 4/7. Bring that value in front of the x and plus, remember we need the b value, that's our y-intercept of 5, so plus 5. And there you have it. This is our equation in slope-intercept form. Now we have a second example in slope-intercept form, but I think this is a good example to look at because it is different than the first one. So this time they're asking for a line passing through the point 2, -3 and has a slope of 1/2. Now with the information given, notice they have given me an x, y point and a slope, so that's an m value. It doesn't really make sense to go straight into slope-intercept form because I would need the slope, which I do have, but I would need a b value, that y-intercept, and I don't have that. So in this case, it actually makes more sense to start with my point slope formula because I do have that point, remember, at the x1 and y1 that I can plug in, as well as the m, that was the slope of 1/2. So I'm going to start with the point slope formula, and I'm going to plug in the information I have. So I'm going to start with y minus, I'm going to bring that y1 in, that's the -3, equals, now I need my m value, so that was 1/2, times the quantity x minus, I'm going to make sure I get this x1 value of 2 in there. Okay. So this is that point slope formula, but remember they want my final answer in a slope-intercept form. So I'm going to need to do some simplifying here. Okay, and the first thing I'm actually going to simplify, and you may have noticed right as I was writing the equation, the minus -3. I am going to clean that up to say plus 3. And the second step on the other side, I am going to distribute this 1/2 to both terms inside the parentheses. So I'm going to have 1/2 x minus, now 1/2 times 2 is going to be 1. So I have 1/2 x minus 1. Now the final step, because I'm looking at the slope-intercept form, which remember that is our goal we want to end up at, we want to have the y by itself. So right now I have y plus 3. So I'm going to work on isolating the y by subtracting 3. Okay, so I'm going to bring down the y. I'm going to keep my 1/2 x. Notice I lined up some like terms, so I have -1 minus 3, which should bring me to -4. So now I have an equation that's y equals 1/2 x minus 4, so the slope is 1/2. The y-intercept is -4. So I've successfully converted my point slope into slope-intercept form. So I think it's a great example to look at the information you're given, and sometimes it just makes sense to use a different form as a starting point and then do a little bit of converting to get the form that you want. All right, I do have one more example for slope-intercept form, and I like it's a little bit of a challenge, just a little bit of a step up from example 2. So this time we have a line that passes through the point -3, -1, so that's a good xy point, and another xy point. So I'm going to label that as x2, y2. So we're passing through 6, -4. So I have 2 points given, and notice I'm looking at my different formulas here, and I don't have a formula that's called 2 points. Okay, but I do have a formula that at least has an x1 and a y1. That's that point slope form. So I think we're going to start with that. That looks at least like I have a little bit of information to use. The hard thing is I need a slope to use point slope formula, and I don't have a slope here. Although, and this is what makes it a little challenging, we're going to draw on past knowledge, we do have a formula to calculate slope. So we're going to just need you to pull on that previous knowledge. I'm going to include in my formula box here the slope formula. Remember, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So step one, we're going to find our slope here. Okay. So a little bit of a side calculation. Let's get that set up. So if I use the formula y2, that is -4 minus y1. So we're going to subtract a -1, and we're going to divide that by the x2. Grab a different color here. So x2 is 6 minus x1 is -3. Okay, be very careful. There's a lot of negatives and subtractions here. So -4, you know what, I'm going to change that to plus positive. So it looks like we have a -3 on top, and same thing on the bottom here. I'm going to change that to plus positive. So we should have 9 on the bottom, which reduces to a slope of -1/3. Great. So now that I have the slope, I'm going to actually use that point slope formula. Okay. So I'm going to use that point from up above, and I'm going to use my new slope number, that -1/3. Okay, so let me start with my point slope y minus, and I'm going to bring my y1, which looks like it's -1. So I'm going back up to the top here. I'm going to use this point -3, -1. Okay, equals, now I need a slope. Remember, we just calculated that -1/3, bringing that in from step 1. And we're going to start with the parenthesis x minus, and I'm going to bring in that x1, which is -3. Okay, so we've got all our pieces into the equation, and yes, I know there's a lot of negatives going on. We can do some cleaning up. Remember, we're trying to get slope-intercept form, so our goal is to get a y equals. So we are going to do some cleaning up, some converting. I'm going to simplify the y minus -1 to y plus 1, and I am going to distribute this -1/3, so it's going to be a -1/3 x. And as I distribute, you know what, I should make that plus positive, so that will help me distribute the -1/3 to a +3, which actually is going to be another negative. Here we should get -1. Now that final step, because we're trying to get the y equals equation, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 1 on both sides. So it looks like my final equation is y equals -1/3 x minus 2, and that is our slope-intercept form. So I can read that with the -1/3 as my slope, and it looks like my -2 would be the y-intercept. So in conclusion, I would say think about the information you're given in the problem and decide what form is best to start in. If you need to convert later on to a different form, because that's what the directions are asking, that's fine. But again, you can start with any form you want, and I decide on the form based on the information that they give me. Hopefully, you're seeing in your example some kind of information that matches with one of the formulas, and you can start from there. Good luck.